Woo! Woo! We did it, folks!
Yes.
Thank you both for coming with me on this magical journey.
Yeah, of course, Pumpkin.
Yay, we made the story, you and I. It was a interesting day. The strip of Russia wanted to hang out with the babies just came out, and we're like, hey, if he wants to get babies, why doesn't he just hang out with the micronations? But it's like Russia being Russia, they probably think he was up to something evil, and then that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes, and also just like an excuse to explore the dynamics between all of them, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Character.
Yes, and like Lubo.
Yes.
Whose arc is your favorite in this? Like, which micronation's arc is resonates the most with you?
That's hard because I love them all except for Melosia.
Melissa can get fucked.
Melosia can just go get fucked sideways, and Hut deserves better.
Hut's my favorite fucking arc.
Yeah.
Hut is good.
I liked Saborga a lot just because I like that sort of nod to Italy's reputation as the one who smiles, the one who keeps things light, and the idea of Saborga sort of trying to adopt that role in a group and then just being like, holy shit, this is hard.
I really like that too.
Not to mention the thing to point out of, you may do nothing, but that's exactly it. You do nothing. And you don't help the victims before it happened. And you're like, oh, I wish it could have been like this. It's like, that's why you get proactive, people.
Mm-hmm. Even if you choose not to act, you have still made a choice.
Complicity is a killer too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my favorite arc, so to speak, is... It's a toss-up between Saborga's and Hut's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole, yeah, you're saying pretending to be happy all the time to try and fill the role that that he sees his older brothers do. And then with Hut, he's having to basically learn what it means to be an older brother figure and be the stern rock for everybody else.
It's more of there's more to being a role model than just looking cool.
Yeah,
you have to act the role.
He's comfortable with the role of big brother in the sense of, always trying to be cooler than your younger sibling and teasing other people and stuff like that. But this sort of forcing him to realize that, there are more significant responsibilities in that role.
Mm-hmm.
And trauma happens.
So much trauma. That's another, one of the big motivators of just the development of this game is my intense love for low stakes but high impact drama. Things where, nothing actually that intense is happening, but we're experiencing those emotions. The metaphor that I like to use, or comparison I guess, is on an old sitcom where someone gets one episode amnesia and it's totally unrealistic and they're gonna get their memories back by the end of the episode, but just going through that emotional journey is still just feels good, man.
I know something else you compared it to was Scooby-Doo.
Yes. That's sort of, basically taking Scooby-Doo to its logical extreme, where instead of just oh man, ghosts, oh wait, it's just dudes. This time it's, oh god, all of my friends are being murdered one by one. Oh wait a minute, they're okay, haha.
She nods.
Yeah, Lubo nods.
Yeah, the Lubo nods. I also liked how you kind of flicked the expectations up on their head. What?
Not just, like, going with that, I'm just remembering the second Italian musical of Russia was cast as the villain only for convenience.
Yes.
That actually happened in the goddamn musical. Russia was the villain of it, only for convenience.
Because because everyone otherwise wouldn't believe what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, it makes perfect sense from their perspective. But it was wholesome, except for Austria. You're a terrible father, and I'm pretty sure the only reason Italy came out the way he did is because of Hungary.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Though, I mean, like, while I agree 100%, it is important to say that I agree 100% that Austria is a terrible father, but at the same time, at least with Kugelmugel, he didn't ask for this. This was foisted upon him. So, being judged on the same level of, like, the loving parents, like, I'm sure he feels some unwelcome pressure himself, because, again, this isn't like in the past where he would, like, take on a colony. This is just some kid who showed up in his life, and suddenly everyone is like, why don't you love this child with your entire heart and soul? And it's like, on the one hand, I've never been good at being a dad. On the other, I didn't ask for this kid. So, he's a shitty dad. He's a very shitty dad, and there's excusing what he's done, but I want to say that, like, he's having some struggles of his own. He isn't happy in this position.
You could say the very same thing of Italy being foisted upon Hungary.
Yes.
Who had to do almost, at least from what we saw, almost basically all of the parenting hardcore duties.
Mm-hmm.
Bathing him, making his clothes, cooking for him, putting him to bed. Basically all the parenting duties, male and female, were on her.
Mm-hmm.
Which, she didn't ask for that either.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was married to him. I'm very sorry, Hungary. You deserve
Wasn't
better.
that because she was his servant? That was way before they were married.
Or wait,
I thought they were married.
Yeah, I thought that was during the Austro-Hungarian Empire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, still, like...
I just remember, like, when they first, like, did stuff, she was, like, working for him. She wasn't married to him yet, because Prussia was like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, so she was a servant at the time. They didn't properly join until way later.
It still doesn't change the fact
Yeah.
that he foisted this child upon her.
Yeah.
For his own gain.
In another point, Kugel hated Austria at first.
Yes.
He just showed up in his house and called him a fascist. That's part of the history of Kugelmugel.
Yes, like, if you haven't already, study the history of Kugelmugel. It is, like, it gives you a lot of fun perspectives into how these two individuals might have interacted just, like, one-on-one. Because pretty much the artist, like, builds the thing, and the police are just like, you kind of can't do that. Can you not? And he's like, no, you fascist, telling me where I can and can't make my art, And they're like, come on, seriously, you, like, legally, you are not allowed to do this here. And so he, like, makes, like, a street sign or something, like, names the street that Kugelmugel is on, Anti-Fascism Drive, but, in German.
Mm-hmm.
So... thus, the sort of, like, joke we like to have that the first time Kugelmugel met Austria, he just called him a fascist right to his face. So, their relationship has never been great. In any way.
Compared to Italy, who, like, was sad, but would offer as much love and wholesomeness as he could.
Granted, it was also a huge cultural difference.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this game.
Yes.
The characterization's fun. Like, yeah, I ran away with it because I just fell in love with these characters and their interactions that it turned into a visual novel instead of just, like, a shorter puzzle game, which I originally intended it to be.
Yeah, but character studies are fun.
Character studies are super fun.
Especially with characters who don't often get them. Yeah, we get them with Sealand, but you don't get them really often with Kugelmugel, or Y, or Hut.
Yup.
Yeah, there's just so much room to play.
Yes.
Also, fun fact, you may have noticed in the credits there was a special thanks to Fair Melosia. That was a Melosia RPer that me and Lubo RP'd with for a good long time. That gave me, like, a ton of headcanon of how Melosia acted, that he was like a really super big jerk, that he didn't really mean what he said, that his dog's named Chase, that kind of stuff. The peanut butter treats. They discontinued RPing though a really long time ago, like right when I was like starting House of Winter, they discontinued, so I wasn't able to tell them, but maybe they'll see this someday and be like, yo, hey, what up?
They were really unique. Because they played him with all of his insecurities intact and played on the fact that his boss hates him and kind of brought up his, basically, like, a really bad home life as, like, an originator for all of his really awful behavior and lashing out. And what we see of him in canon is this really soft boy, teenage boy who likes to garden and shit. That's the one we generally see around, America. And then the moment he feels threatened, he feels like he has to put on a real big show and bluster at everything to keep himself safe. Because he doesn't feel settled and safe in his own skin. And that was a really cool way of interpreting Melosia's character. And I hate him in this game. Don't get me wrong, but the characterization makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this is very much the sort of work where, like, it's most fully appreciated with a certain level of cognitive dissonance isn't the word, but just, being able to look at a person who is being harmful to others and to be able to, like, while still holding space for, that's shitty, that's very wrong, also, like, being able to look at them as a whole person with their own internal machinations and personal motivations and experiences.
Awareness.
Yes. Like, having a full, like, this is very much a game, like, again, it's sort of a character study where you really need to have a full human awareness of all of the characters, regardless of whether they're being kind or cruel to one another.
Mm-hmm. And also, one last thing, I remember back when we made this, we also planned a sequel, too, of Cougar Moogle in the World, of basically the adventures of Cougar Moogle being babysat by other nations who wanted to treat this child better and have their hand at parenting, and then realizing a lot of them are kind of shitty parents.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would still love to explore those concepts with you someday, because we fleshed out, like, loose outlines for a ton of setups.
Mm-hmm. American Canada's was really interesting to me.
Yes. Oh God, France and England.
God!
That's
yeah?
a painful one. As painful as you would expect of France and England once again trying to best each other for a child's impression.
And not actually taking the child's impression into mind, so it's just making them miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And it just explores a lot of different types of parenting. And with a kid whose mind is altered in that they don't really work like other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have the personal headcanon that Kugel's on the spectrum, but that might be me kind of self-relating with it a lot. Because I put a lot of my own, like, autism quirks in them, to be honest. I'll admit that.
Mm-hmm.
But it works.
Yeah, it reads very, like, authentic.
Thoughts?
About anything?
Thoughts on anything? But what more can I say? Like, you guys are already hitting on these notes, and to be fair, I was only there for the sequel, like, drafting bits in tangentially. So I've only heard of the fucking catastrophe that is the America and Canada portion.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
That's fair. We don't really talk about it very much, because I know you want to, like, space yourself from the projects now.
I do, but now that we've done House of Winter, now I'm just thinking about Kugel Moogle and the World a ton, and I want more. I
Yeah.
just want all of these. God, I love Hetalia.
Not to mention, I'm working on Hitterella again.
Yes.
And I know you and I were super huge on the sequel of that, too.
Yes, like back in the day, the concept was that I would actually do I almost said screenplay, but you know what I mean.
The script.
Yeah, do the script for, Heterella 2, to be Heterella.
Yes. It's still good. Still awesome. I think this game might have been a flop, though, House of Winter, I mean, because it's been like more than a month since its release, and it's had very minimal reactions. Like, very minimal compared to other games. And so I'm like, alright. So maybe this isn't people's cup of tea.
Yeah, which, I mean, like, especially considering your, most well-known projects, it's definitely a different approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, well, it's not focused on the main characters, it's, sort of just a one-shot offshoot thing that isn't, like, as entirely life-engrossing as, like, Dreamtalia and such. So, it makes a lot of sense that people who came for a certain type of material wouldn't really resonate with this one as much, but I'm really proud of it, like, as a creative work. I think it came out really well, and
Thank you.
as an exercise of, coming together with a lot of different people, like the artists and language consultants and everything, just as a project, I, like as a fellow creator, I see it as very, very admirable.
Thank you. Because while we did think of it, I wrote everything and did everything.
Yes, I was mostly just part of the, like, well, as the credits attested, my biggest contribution was really just story development. So all of the, like, nitty-gritty of actually making this into a thing that exists was all Kyo.
Like, I've been having the urge to make a new game to try to get some, like, new blood flushing through, but it's like, then I'd put off Hitterella again. Unless I found a way to do both, because if I did do a new project, I want to tackle Everything is Awesome. Because that is just a bigger, ambitious project.
It is.
On self-wise. Collab-wise, I still want to do Diamontalia, Chapter 0, all that stuff.
Yeah, I assume
But I just mean,
that
like,
was still
solo-wise.
Okay.
You just looked very sad, and I was worried.
In the end, like, I understand you get burrowed into things.
Yeah. Like, you have Sleeping Beau, but you still want to do on Diamontalia. That kind of thing. Of just side project.
Well, I know that when the inspiration strikes you, you'll come back. So,
Like, I'm always down for Diamontalia. Diamontalia is tasty.
con, though.
Con, though, yes. But yeah, I'm going to be working on Hitterella here and there. You might be seeing some updates. I'm going to see if I need to talk to Ash again about screenshots, but I want to finish the screenplay before I get the screenshots. Yes?
There was one thing I did want to bring up.
Yes.
Y'all forgot or slept on how the Micronation, like, community reacted to this game.
Oh, yeah!
yeah,
Micronation RP bloggers, like, fucking love this game. Well, a few of them did. There was a few of them. There was a couple Sealans, a Kugel Moogle,
Polarian Prince?
Polarian Prince was the one who mostly, like, gave the most hype for it, and it just makes me happy, and it makes me very glad that I made this game, because they were so fascinated by all the, like, research in it and stuff, so it's like, it's nice that the Micronation, like, Tumblr community at least notices it.
There was something I really liked about this game as well. That Sealan got to fucking learn how difficult being a nation really can be.
That's Sealan's arc.
Even if it's something that turns out to be, oh yeah, it's all just one giant misunderstanding. That whole conversation about what being a nation is, watching people sacrifice themselves to keep you going. That shit.
Good shit.
Hits me right here. I love that stuff. That kind of meta meta conversation within Hetalia itself, talking about what constitutes nationhood and nationkind versus the humans that they technically spawn off of but are so different from. That shit just...
Yes, and another side note before we wrap up of thank you to everyone for indulging us with non-binary Kugel Moogle.
Yes, please, God.
We're very well aware that canonically Kugel Moogle is a boy, but I just remember, especially early on in the introduction of the micronations, the buzz over this idea of Kugel Moogle as a non-binary individual that really stuck with me, especially as I went some time identifying as non-binary myself, and just seeing that sort of handled here is it's nice. It's nice.
I based not gonna lie, I based Austria on some interactions I saw with you, and I was really angry about it, so I kind of put that in Russia a little.
Oh.
Because I got really worried.
Yeah, and that's I once again, right here, not actually defending, but wanting to make sure the full story is understood on Austria. I see Austria's misgendering in this situation not as malicious, but as ignorant, because this is the same guy who was oh yeah, Italy's a girl, right? Whatever, doesn't even bother.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I feel like that's very important, that it's not a sign of malicious intent, it's just a sign of how little he thinks about Kugel Moogle. How Kugel Moogle really is just this blip on his radar.
And how little he understands gender.
That too.
Because Hungary was a thing, Kugel's a thing, Italy's a thing. He's just had a lot of gender confusion his whole life. He's like, oh, you're not that?
If tiny Prussia can understand gender better than you can, you have a fucking problem!
Yes.
I'm still on the boat that maybe he's, well, I say he, but, that Kugel's somewhat gender fluid, even maybe gender fluid, but, non-binary too, because even Liechtenstein thinks that Kugel's a girl, and and in the strips, not a lot of people know what a Kugel actually is. Aren't they blank? I thought they were blank.
And, I'm also very much just, again, this is all just, personal headcanon territory, but I'm very much in the boat of Kugel Moogle being comfortable being referred to by, any and all pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's sort of that feeling of, yeah, I'm not a guy, I'm not a girl, just sort of
I'm an existence of space, I'm an art.
Yes.
What's in your pants? Art. Except for cat ears. Cat ears is not art. As said by Kugel.
Oh man, I need to go back and reread more Hetalia. It's been so long.
Welcome back to the fold.
I know, right? Me going through my big Ace Attorney kick, and now is gonna be a weird time because I'm simultaneously vibing on Hetalia
Join
and My
me.
Hero Academia.
Be with me, darling.
I am joining you. That's what I'm doing.
Yay, I love you.
Can we not kill All Might? Can that not
No, All Might stays.
Protect All Might.
All Might
please.
is best. All Might is best might.
Protect this delicate dad.
Yes, protect the delicate dad.
Toshinori, #1. More than protect All Might, protect Toshinori.
Yes.
Even without the symbol. Protect that man. That man is good, even with or without his hero-ness.
Protect that dying man.
My good father figure. Anyway, we've gone on long enough.
Yes, that was quite a tangent.
Thank you both again for being with us for this thing, and it took forever.
What?
Maybe Paralean Prince, I think, they did a basically a play-by-play of their playthrough of House of Winter, and it was fucking hilarious.
I'll leave a description in the I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. It was fucking hilarious. And if you guys post, like... Let me tell you this. Because of the fucking really generic name of House of Winter, it's really hard to find Let's Plays or fan art or fanfic. Or if you find anything, please tell me. I am in the complete dark. So if you guys have, like, reactions or, like, play-by-plays or videos or fan art, please tell me. Not even just tag me. Just message me. Be like, hey, I found blank. And I will be very appreciative, because, again, if y'all like it, it's good to not see this as a flop. But even if it is a flop, I like seeing people's reactions so I can comment on it, because they're great. Maybe bring up my Russia RP blog again, because that Russia was based on House of Winter, because that's when I was writing it.
Oh yeah, Snow and Dreams?
Yeah, Snow and Dreams. He's based on the Russia here, so he has Rika, he's in that house, deals with General Winter, has that experience under his belt, that kind of stuff.
Knits sweaters, has unholy dolls in his attic.
Yep.
You need to get rid of those.
But yes, so, thank you all for joining us in this adventure. Very thank you. And thank you for your patience for waiting this long, because it's been very long, and no, Hitooni's not getting another update anytime soon, I'll tell you that. Y'all been asking for 4 years now, and I'm not ready to go back to that yet, because this one's been going through transitions, and I'd rather have him do his own thing in college, and transitioning, and being a good boy, than having to force himself to do Hitooni when he wasn't ready. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
And besides, I still need to rediscover my head voice so I can make Italy cry right.
Yes.
Make Italy cry.
Because, like, with
2000.
transitioning, you notice... He's got to reposition his voice for everything now. Like, we might have to redo it again.
Christ!
Kugel's I heard that voice crack when you were doing Kugel.
Oh, yes.
It was perfect, though.
I know, it's perfect, because they're growing too.
Yeah.
Yep. Growing boy.
They're gonna get smacked with puberty.
Someday.
Someday.
Maybe not.
Their luscious... Please, let him live that long.
Oh, of course. I just mean in the sense, especially because, you know, like, it's established in canon that, like, a micronation, if it ceases to be, can just choose to live on as a mortal. Like, that's what happened with the, like...
Nico Nico Republic.
Yeah, the Nico Republic.
I was actually surprised, like, no one referenced him in this game, given it's a micronation game, but then again, like, he's not part of them even anymore, even though they all visited his house and hung out with him.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
they may have, like, visited his house, but he's not part of the club, you know?
Not anymore, but they all know him, and they apparently trust him enough to, like, go over and meet his family, and he let them, like, meet his kid.
Yeah. That, I guess, one of those things is one of those things of narrative significance that happens in any fan work, where it's like...
You can't get them all.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, yes, being gone for real. We talked so long, but thank you all for listening to us. Thank you. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Goodbye from our TED Talk.
Yep, I'm gonna be doing some live streams here soon, so that'll be fun to just give off some stress and stuff. And other games, like we have some Bad God games to play, you and me. What? Boobs. I can't hear anything.
Boobs.
Boobs.
But yes,
Boobs have nothing to do with Bad God.
No, but they have to do with streams.
You're right. Right.
But Bad God first.
Yes,
because
Bad
you
God.
guys, if you're good, will get your boobs later.
Yes. Well, no one asked for the boobs. I just do the boobs
I
for
asked
me.
for boobs.
I do too. But yes, if y'all are very patient, I'll try to do more Hitalia games first, and then I'll get more into the, other stuff.
Titties.
But yes, thank you, my love. Mwah. And thank you, Lubo. Pat. I'm not gonna kiss you on camera.
You could shake my hand.
Then
like
give
a
me your
civilized
hand!
human
Yes!
being. Thank you.
And have a good day, everybody. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
I love Rika.
Rika's the best thing.